Randomly with Ronnie Jr.
All right, welcome to another edition of Randomly with Ronnie Jr. With me today is S.P.I.C.Y of the S.P.I.C.Y Life. Hello, first of all.
Hi, Ronnie. I'm so excited to be here. You're my favorite person.
Let's have a little bit of a conversation, but the weirdest thing about it is it's good because it's random, but I know so much about you already. So previously in another world, I got to collaborate with S.P.I.C.Y on several different projects, like be it from a class that she used to take, and I was working at the facility, to working together on a project for the S.P.I.C.Y Life, and even digital content before digital content really blew up, which is so funny because I feel like I was early to the party. You were early to the party, but the monetization wasn't really there at that time, unless you were like a YouTuber. But I say that to say lots of good memories with you. And it's like, oh my God, what do I ask her that I don't already know? So I'll have to frame it in a way where it's like, okay, just tell the world, So randomly tell me about, I really want to know first is like, why do you think you are this person who is spicy? You know what I mean? It's a word that all of a sudden everyone's using, but when I knew you of this time, you were creating this brand, this idea. You're like, I want to just invigorate everyone. I don't know if at that time it was even relationship. I think it was more, this girl Maricela was spicy.
Yeah.
I have my egotistical moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm the shit. But a lot of times, Mari, I'm really like quiet and reserved. What is it about you? Where did that come from that you were like, no, you live life once, let's live boldly, let's live spicy? How did you gain that in your personality?
I think that the hugest influence when it comes to being spicy, when we originally developed the brand, or we were just like talking about, the S.P.I.C.Y Life as a company, spicy always represented like adding the next level to something, adding flavor to something, adding the next notch, like creating this, amazing, exuberant experience for people and upgrading the quality of their lives. And then the more that I researched, and I had already even coined the name Spicy when I was working at the radio station, but my company was also called the S.P.I.C.Y Life. The more that I researched the key ingredients that you need for a relationship, the acronym was SPICY, like self-awareness, passion, intimacy, communication, and learning to say yes. Those are the 5 ingredients you need for a relationship. So
I only have 2. I could check off the passion box, Mari, let me tell you. But wow, say that again. What is it? It's self-awareness?
Self-awareness, knowing who you are, what you have to offer, and what you want. And then like passion is, how you excite other people's lives, the excitement that you have in your own life, your hobbies, your shared activities, like what do you bring to the table that's going to make someone desire to spend time with you? And then intimacy, how you connect and bond with people, how vulnerable you show up, and what are you willing to share? And in return, what are you willing to sacrifice for sharing? And then communication, how do you deliver that message? What platforms are you delivering that message? Nonverbal and verbal, even communication, like what do people get from you? And then the last part is learning to say yes. Like what are you going to sacrifice so that you can manifest all of your dreams? What beliefs aren't serving you anymore? And how are you willing to compromise this in order to get what you want?
It's funny you said compromise. It's funny you say compromise, because when you were saying that last one, the first thing I thought of is like, in life, we get to this point where we want to be rigid because we like now know what suits us, or so we think. But that last one really gets me, because it's like, oh, she's basically saying compromise a little, because if you become too rigid and know too well of yourself, that can also become a hindrance, I think.
Absolutely.
So what is the S.P.I.C.Y Life? Relationship expert is sort of what you are, but how does that work in terms of a business as well?
So I run my practice, of course, as the CEO for the S.P.I.C.Y Life, which is my relationship consulting firm. And within there, I have done the appropriate, necessary, like life experiences, which a lot of you hear a lot of coaches like, they've had a boyfriend, now they think they're a relationship expert. That's not how I operate. I'm a certified dating and relationship expert.
And you see some of those out there. We should be shading them heavily. She talking about I went on a date and I was done wrong. And now let me tell you, well,
Yeah.
you're still crumbly. Like I see you're rickety.
There's a lot of
Spicy's not rickety.
Yeah, there's a lot of self-proclaimed that are like, okay, fitness didn't work out for me, Herbalife didn't work out for me, uh, marketing didn't work out for me. Now I'm going to be a relationship coach because I'm passionate about it. It's not enough to just be passionate. You are dealing with people's lives. So passion is important when it comes to being successful. But I think the other element is like actually investing in yourself and educating yourself on the methods and tools that are necessary to help people have successful relationships. So that's where not just my certification, but also my education from UC Berkeley and USC and developing my method in my master's program really helps, me stand out. And then also the numerous matches that I've made by helping people become more magnetic. So the magnetic matchmaking is me helping you become the best version of yourself, helping you reach self-actualization so that way you can meet a partner who is your purpose mate and you guys are in alignment with one another. So you essentially have to decide on what you want and then become those things. And I help you through that process because a lot of people know what they want. It's not even that bad when it comes to knowing what you want. It's more of how do I get what I want? Like what's the behaviors that are needed to support that? That's when we need an accountability partner. That's when we need a coach. That's when we need people who are professionals that do this on a daily basis.
Well, and one thing I know, because I've spent so much time with Spicy Mari across many years, it's like people will put in, like, let's say this podcast, or let's say somebody's like having a big fitness growth in their life. They will put so much work into these things, so much work into diet, so much work into I'm going to create a TV show, and by the way, I was up for 12 hours, but then it's like, so then in the same token, you want to find your purpose mate and you've never put no time into it and you're just like, I'm good. It's just not going to work that way. Purpose mate, can it be more than one? No, I'm kidding. I'm loved by many, Mari. I'm loved by many. I got to tell you.
I'm with you, Ronnie. You're very lovable. So there's probably this is my theory, right? There's probably about a handful of people in this world who you would be ultimately compatible with, who you would have an amazing life with. The challenge with that, though, is that we don't put ourselves out there enough to meet those people. So when you meet someone who's in alignment with where your life and your trajectory is supposed to go, you need to jump on that. But a lot of times we're lazy. We don't do enough on a daily basis in order to invest in ourselves when it comes to finding love. So those people are just out there wandering. They wind up sometimes settling. They wind up getting with someone else. And when you're in true alignment, then you will find that person. But similar to soulmates, where it's more of like just passion and chemistry that you have, for me, a purpose mate is you actually walking in your purpose and this person being the person that's needed in order to help you elevate your empire, in order to help you get to the next level, to reach relationship actualization. So like self-actualization is being like the best version of yourself, but relationship actualization is having the best relationship possible that you can have.
And sometimes things change too. Like who you think is not your match might be. You just have to do the work is ultimately what it is. I don't want to stick on this too much, just because if you want to know more about Spicy Life, like go to the website, kind of come into Spicy's world with her podcast and everything. That way you're not speaking redundant. Just before you go, I do have a couple quick questions. When you educationally were pursuing your dreams, how far off was that from where you ended up with the Spicy Life? Like, were you always seeing yourself in this communications role, or what was the schooling versus where you are now running your own business?
Well, I think originally it was always like, I want to be a relationship host, right? And I still do. I want my own relationship show. So I majored and started off in radio, and knowing that I was, going to transition into television, I wanted to make sure I was like prepared and had all those tools. But I think that really has helped me. And when it comes to like seasoning right now, even like the appearances that I make and the confidence that I have on camera or on radio, but transitioning from knowing that like media is a huge part of this, then doing my studies, I was able to merge the two, because majority of the studies that I were doing around sociology, psychology, and human behavior was showing that communication, which is my expertise is built around, is the number one breakdown in relationships. And then we have this like digital transformation that takes place where society now has to get used to all of these new tools and equipment in order to connect more effectively. I was able to like merge the interpersonal relationships and also how do we use these tools in order to connect, and put those together and actually teach my clients. So this is how you present, right? And I feel like we have a lot of hosting and training experience. Well, it's the same thing. Do you know your audience? You know, like, and when I say audience, I mean the person who you're trying to attract. Do you know what they hear when they listen to you? Do you know how you deliver your message to them? Even with like feminine, masculine energy, are you able to put it in a way that your audience is going to grasp? You know,
that's right. I need to refine that. I'm trying to attract a billionaire. I need to like step this verbal, like, you know, if the money's not right, Ronnie's not ready. You know what I mean?
I want just love for you. I just want love for you. I feel like you just need someone who's just as passionate and caring and emotionally available. I would love that for you.
Well, there you go. Spicy Money, the Spicy Life. Before I let you go, I do have a question. Oh, and quick notes. Yes, as you were talking about, you put it into all of your work. Appearances on Tamron Hall Show, Ricky Lake, VH1, et cetera, all these digital platforms as well. If I'm missing something, go to the website, spicylife.com, because there's a lot there. Is this a corny question? You have all the like specifics, but I want to say, so I love being a Virgo, like I'm a September baby to the fullest. Is it corny to be like, oh, my mate is Virgos are more compatible with such and such? Like, is that cheesy? Thinking about astrological signs and finding your connections in the dating space, is that like a crazy thing to think?
No, I do not think that it's crazy at all. I actually have a romance astrologist on my team that does like a reading for me when you're going through the program. And she gives me the 3 top signs that you'd be most compatible with. And I kid you not, she gives me hot, medium, mild, and spicy, right? Based on like those 3 signs. I kid you not, 9 times out of 10, one of the people who I'm going to set you up with, or that you connect yourself with after I give you the tools, is one of those signs. So there is some truth to it, but she also always reminds us that like your moon and your rising play a huge part in your astrology. So it's more complicated than just looking at like your everyday sign. You have to look at what was going on at the time that you were born. So I do like that reading with her so that way we have more insight into our clients. And then that also supports the spicy assessment that I give that's based on like science and research and the studies that I've done. So those come together to like merge and help someone figure out like what sign they belong with. But I think that one, it's a great conversation piece. Definitely ask what signs are, but I wouldn't exclude someone right off the jump, because I also have a theory that our parents play a huge part in our sign. So you could be a Virgo, but then like, what were you raised by? Because that was like the huge influencing factors in your life. So I think those like also kind of massage our personalities and play a role as well.
Well, don't let me stretch my brain. Okay. Well, I would like to believe, and I would like to talk to your astrology expert as well, because in my mind, I could be wrong. I feel like I'm a Virgo through and through. Labor Day weekend, birthday, like there's nothing better than my time of the year, right? However, in my head, I feel like I am destined to be with like a Sagittarius, and my side piece is like a Gemini. That's just what I feel, Mari.
Oh, you like that crazy. You like that don't know what you're gonna get from day to day.
Possibly, but I'm such like a bashful, soft person, you know? So maybe there's like a counterbalance that I seek. I don't know, like the excitement.
You probably like in them what you enjoy for yourself, but you know that you're not going to be that extra and you're not going to be that crazy. So you appreciate that passion in the relationship or what they bring, because it keeps you on the edge of your seat or on your toes. Since you're more chill, you want the yin to your yang. Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. I can see that.
You spoke about parents and obviously Spicy Fergie, my favorite Instagram friend, you know, Mama. You know, she's so great, and I enjoy like just, you know, seeing her on Instagram, chatting with her, whatnot. But tell me about like how her, and I know the story too, but tell me briefly like just how her maybe hits and misses within relationships had worked for you as to seeking, you know, why dating was like a big deal to you. And add, you grew up Blaxican, Mexican, Black, kind of these identities. How do those things play, or do they not at all?
So it does. It actually plays a huge role in my life. So Spicy Mama is probably one of the most influential figures in my life when it comes to me discovering my purpose. It started at a young age with me being in a single parent home, Black and Mexican. So being, you know, bicultural, my mom instilling this like huge, immense pride for both of our cultures, making sure she exposed us to both of our cultures, me and my siblings. But I think that it has made us stronger, more powerful, more determined I think that it's made us more well-rounded and relatable to a variety of people since we represent, we get to represent too. But when it comes to my mom's love life, because she was a single parent, and I saw that when she was dating and in relationship, she was happier. I interpreted that as when you're in relationship, life is better. And I also reaped the benefits of mom being in a relationship because we had more toys, more disposable income, more food. Like she was just nicer. I got hit less, right?
Ooh.
So
when mama was in love, Spicy was having a good Christmas. Okay, now.
Yeah, I was having a good Christmas. So I started on my own going up to men in the grocery store, at the gas station. I don't care where it was, church. I was going up to men and introducing myself as a little girl, 5 and 6, and pitching my mom to them. And I'm like, I'll be a good little girl. Look how beautiful my mom is. Will you be my daddy? And
wow.
I was in search
You're
of like
oldest child too. You're the oldest child, which gives you even more like inquisitive nature, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel like when you're the oldest, you're used to being in like a strong leadership position and taking care of others. So at this time, I was not just taking care of my siblings, but I was also trying to take care of my mom and like reap the benefits of her being in a relationship. But her seeing that, she was like, okay, you are loving this, relationship realm a little too much to be so young. And I kept doing it with her friends, other families and aunts. And she was like, let me give you some books so that at least you don't make the same mistakes that I did and your self-worth be wrapped up in your relationship. And then that's when like it really sparked my desire to learn. And then that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to study communication and get my master's in that as well, and be able then to teach people how to have healthy communication in their relationships. So it wouldn't be just me matching you. I'm also giving you the tools to make the relationship successful. Because I can introduce you to the one all day long, Ronnie, but if you don't have the tools to keep them, it's going to be a disaster.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Spicy's always been really good as a friendship. You've always been good at like invigorating times where I'm sure you do this to all your friends, but I'm talking about like, I'll remember times where I'm down and out, have nothing to do with the relationship, but you're always like, you kickstart people, like you reinvigorate their chutzpah.
I love that you're saying that because I think the same thing about you. I'm like, you're the biggest cheerleader in the world. I don't know anybody who like leaves as dynamic voicemails pumping you up that like you are the best thing.
Those are notorious. Yes.
Yeah. Like,
some of my best work.
I save your voicemails as like my affirmations and just listen to those over and over. Like, yeah, I am that. Okay, Ronnie, I hear you.
Yeah, I am the one.
I give you the king for that. You get the platinum medal.
I'm also very like vulnerably honest too, and I get my frustrations, and we all do. But that's what the key is, to find a friend, find a consulting situation like Madi, SpicyLife.com, that you can get back on track. That's all that it is. Wrapping out of here. I know you have coaching calls all day, every day. So I'm glad to even have this brief moment with you. Longtime friend. The interview's too short. We'll have to revisit later. I want to wrap out with something where you had told me there's the 5 love languages. I will tell you, I used to be affirmation. I feel like I've evolved. So hit me with the 5. And I don't think affirmation is what I seek anymore, Madi. It's changed. Is that? Yeah.
That can happen. We grow as people. So it's quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, affection, and then acts of service. So mine would be quality time and acts of service. What would you say yours is now?
Oh, I think it was affirmation, which maybe I was insecure. So I needed that. Now I don't feel like, we're all insecure to a degree, but I don't need affirmation. Now I like quality time a lot. I think it goes, it's so charming. It's so like, it's on that level of like, yeah, anyone could, well, if you have money, anyone could buy something nice, but can you take somebody on a picnic at the right sundown where, you're at the right park, and that quality time is good. And then my moon rising would be, what was the third one you said? You said,
for the 5 love languages?
Yes. Yeah.
So it would be acts of service, quality time, gifts, words of affirmation, and affection.
Oh, affection is number 2. Yeah.
Number 2. Yeah. Okay.
I'm moving it around, Madi. I'm moving it around. Dance, shaking some stuff up.
You like touch. You like touch. You like somebody to like physically show you how they care about you. It makes you feel loved.
Vulnerable moment. I sometimes would rather cuddle than have sex. I just gotta say. Let's spoon, baby.
It's better. I'm like, try naked cuddling too. That's actually like very intimate. I'm pregnant right now, and they said that when you don't like have the energy sometimes to have sex while you're pregnant, or if it's like uncomfortable, we haven't had that experience. We've been having great sex since I've been pregnant, but while like in the moments though that I'm tired, I will just be like, let's cuddle naked. And that feels just as good as like the real thing, because you're still getting all of the endorphins that are, release all of the oxytocin that runs through your body.
Right.
You're still getting like that TLC and love and affection. And touch does that for you. It does it for a lot of people. So that's great that you know that your love languages have transitioned, because now you can tell your partner and communicate that this is what I need. Can you deliver? If you cannot deliver, thank you for letting me know. I will find someone who can.
It was good that you told me that years ago, and this is also work you do, but just as a friend, you were telling me to assess it. And I remember like assessing it was very valuable, because it was like, oh, what do I require? And before that, as a, and this is across the board, I never like required anything. I would be very like, oh, whatever is given to me, like I have to accept it. And then I think there's that part in life where you have to change your whole vocabulary. Even when you do something for someone, I used to always say, no problem. And it's like, no, say you're welcome. Like say it with your whole chest. It's not, you're not here for others. I mean, you are for service, but you do have to know what you want. Otherwise, you're going in circles too. That's it, Spicy.
I think the reciprocation part, Ronnie, you just hit on is like super important. I'm happy you realize that, because a lot of people think that they're going to get love just by pouring love out to others. And we forget that we need our love cup filled up too, so that we're not pouring from an empty cup, right? So I think that that's great that you are acknowledging like, nope, I have needs and I'm asking for them now. That shows like growth right there. You set an example for a lot of people who in the past maybe just desired acceptance or to please others. We need it reciprocated. Love is an interactive process and experience with two people.
Being spicy is tricky, boy, I tell you. But the good thing we have a website for it, spicylife.com. And everything that you've done even recently has been exciting. You know what I mean? Like seeing the Lester Holt segment on NBC with, Spicy Mama is in that. Go to the website, spicylife.com, and the YouTube channel to kind of learn more of that. But it's just, you have a lot of great things going. So everyone is excited to see it. So yeah,
super excited. Thank you, Ronnie.
Congrats on top of congrats. I guess that's it. You got to run. And I got to go do another podcast and keep on winning. Okay. You know what I mean? Bye, Spicy. Oh, hashtag Spicy certified.
Yes, loved it. Thank you.
I'm so silly. Me. No problem. I mean, you're welcome.
I can't wait to see you.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Bye.